dignitaries on the dais, our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Gurmeet Singh sir, and Director Studies, Professor Thirunav Karasu sir, and Director Culture and Cultural Relations, Professor Jain sir, and our Registrar, Professor Amaresh Samantraya sir on the dais, and we have our Finance Officer from Professor Lajar sir, and then we have the Dean from the Sciences, and of the dais we have officers, employees, and Dean from Life Sciences, and other invited guests. Today we are observing Vigilance Awareness. This Vigilance Awareness is one of the tools of Central Vigilance Commission. Central Vigilance Commission has mandate to fight corruption and create awareness among public, especially the employees who are serving in government. And in this year, 31st October, in fact, today is birth anniversary of Shri Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel ji, who is called as Iron Man of this great country. So this Vigilance Awareness Week is observed in the in the week where our Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel birthday falls. Today is birth anniversary of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, and from today onwards up to 6th November we have been observing the Vigilance Awareness. In this program, even affiliated colleges also actively involving under the able leadership of Professor Chandrasekhar Rao as OSD. We have already given instructions to all the college principals. And in our campus, today, starting day for observing Vigilance Awareness, and at the same time, today is National Unity Day. National Unity Day, we are observing by organizing several events. Morning at 6:30, sir, we have Unity Run on the campus, and we collaborated, Dean Students Welfare collaborated with the Physical Education Department. So we have excellent program in the morning, and now some quiz program is going on in the department. And afternoon, again we have a kind of workshop on the occasion, and the former Vice Chancellor from Alagappa University, Professor Rajan, is the resource person, and our retired Professor Professor Raghuvattam sir also is the resource person. At 3 o'clock we have another program in collaboration with the School of Social Sciences. So on this occasion, I just welcome all of you with this brief introductory note, and I request on this occasion address all employees of our university, and then administer the integrative pledge. Sir, I request our Vice Chancellor to deliver a kind of address and then administer integrity pledge, sir. Thank you.
Now this week is being celebrated as a week of Integrity or Vigilance Awareness Week, as we call it. This is corruption-free India for a developed nation. Bhrashtachar Mukt Bharat, Viksit Bharat. So that's it. We have to make a country, obviously, Viksit Bharat, Bhrashtachar Mukt Bharat, corruption-free Bharat. It is very important. We all know that, and this is what we have been learning from our forefathers ever since we gained independence, that a country will do very well if people are with absolute sense of ethics, sincerity, dedication, and of course, they work with absolute integrity for the country. So a country shall progress. But you would have also heard at times from our elders that, well, if there's a minor corruption here and there, we can overlook because that remains within our country. But what we need to realize is this minor thing which we say it remains in our country, remains within us, it doesn't stop there. This is the genesis. That is where we say when cancer sets in, the best way to cure cancer is the earliest detection. Earliest. The moment you detect, you treat. Chemotherapy, surgery, whatever is to be done. If you delay, it grows. It grows in a very uncontrolled manner in all directions, and eventually it becomes uncontrollable and it kills the person. That is what is going to be there if we do not control corruption at the very root of it. If somebody says, sir, it's a matter of 10 rupees, how does it matter? That 10 rupees is the genesis. Then it will grow like a wild cancer, uncontrolled cancer, and it will grow to an extent that will be eventually uncontrollable. And then it will kill the organization. This is what we have seen. If you look at the history of our country's PSUs, we had very many. There are many which now we have started calling it as ailing PSUs. And those ailing PSUs, we have started saying they cannot be cured. They have grown with this cancer, so it has to be stopped. It has to be disengaged from the country. And we have closed those PSU gradually. Then if you have heard the name Navratna PSUs, those who are profit-making PSUs, there also, this is most important, corruption-free working style. That is how they lead to profitability, and they are given the status of Navratna PSUs. So this corruption has to be rooted out at the very genesis. So therefore, I will urge all of you to work with absolute sincerity towards absolute corruption-free university. That is how it should be. It doesn't lead too far off, let me tell you. If you make about 500 rupees here and there, or 1,000 rupees, or 10,000 rupees here and there, it doesn't stay with you, let me tell you. Some way or the other, it will hit back. If not to you, somebody to your offsprings, to your siblings, somewhere it hits. So therefore, ideal thing is whatever we are meant for, we do in all sincerity and work for our country, then only it will grow. And one cannot say there are no examples. There are examples, umpteen number of examples. If one starts counting, it'll go a long, long way, let me tell you. The list will be endless. So whenever we talk about this sense of honesty, probably a lot of names will come in. People will name political leaders, people will name all kinds of names, all kinds of professions, that so-and-so was very honest, so-and-so was this. I am not naming anybody. Maybe, well, if you want me to name somebody, we had a person called T.N. Seshan. I am naming these, I am not naming any political figure or anybody else for that matter. Before he took over as the Chief Election Commissioner, I am vouching for everybody. None of us knew what is Election Commission of India. What is the power of Election Commission of India? What is it that it can really do for a country to have fair elections? When he took over, he told what is a constitutional authority, what is the power of the election commissioner. Only one election commissioner used to be there. Subsequently, we had 3, and then chief election commissioner and others came. So his name comes in. And he authored a book recently before his death. There he cited that he was a young collector at somewhere, and he allotted a room to someone. It was allotted to him, in fact. And somebody cancelled that because the chief minister of the state was coming there. And he said, no, this has to be given to him. He says, no, this has been allotted to X for a particular reason, and nobody has the guts to do this. And he didn't cancel, he continued with that. And when this chief minister argued that how this was done, don't you know who am I? He says, don't you know that who am I? My PN can become a chief minister tomorrow by contesting election, but you cannot become what I am. For that you have to clear a very massive examination and come to this status. This kind of uprightness, this kind of honesty, this kind of dedication, you will not find these days. That is what is needed, and this is what is required in our day-to-day life. When he was election commissioner, he told political parties what are ethics. Anything that you are getting, you have to give it. You have to account for. And he introduced a lot of laws. And that point onwards, we all started realizing what is the importance of Election Commission of India for our country. And that is what has led to number of elections after that, which you have seen, where power has changed from one hand to another, but very smoothly people have gladly given the seats to others. This is the hallmark of the strength of democracy, which stems from a sense of honesty, sense of purpose, which people had. There are many examples. Lal Bahadur Shastri's example is another one. When he wanted to buy a car, his son wanted to buy a car. He says, we must have a car, we are Prime Minister's family. He says, yes, you can buy a car. The Fiat car during those days was 14,000 rupees or 16,000 rupees. And he says, we apply for a loan to SBI, that is the one which is going to give us. He took loan. He didn't have 16,000 rupees. He took loan, and that car, number 26, still stands there. This is the kind of level of honesty. His son, Hari Krishnan Shastri, wanted to do his studies in a college, and he went to submit his application form. And there was a long queue, and he rang up his father that, Dad, there is a long queue. Can you tell somebody that I should submit my form out of the way? He said, those who are standing in the queue, they are also like you. So therefore, whatever time it takes, you also stand in line and submit. Where is the integrity of that kind these days? Will we find such a thing? And when he was being interviewed for the admission in that college, principal was asking him, what are your hobbies, what do you do? This was a proper interview. And when he read out, there was a column, why do you want to join this college? You write that what ultimately you want to become. And there are columns, your name, your father's name, your residential address. He told his son, you will not write my name as Lal Bahadur Shastri. You will write LB Shastri, so that they don't come to know. But when it came to residential address, it was 1 Janpat, New Delhi. So when he was being interviewed, he says, okay, father's LB Shastri, and address 1 Janpat. The principal told that fellow that, I suppose this is the address of the Prime Minister of India. And then he had no choice. He said, yes, sir, he is my father. So that is how the story goes, and after that it is there in a book. Unfortunately, we don't have a habit of reading these books which come these days. People who excel in their professions, they do write their memoirs, and if we read this, a lot of learning we can do to excel in our own areas. So therefore, I will appreciate if you follow whatever I have said in letter and spirit. And the biggest thing that you can contribute to your university, I am not saying that everybody will be able to contribute what a registrar does or what a head does or what a dean does. Everyone has one's own area where one has to perform. So if you perform in your own area, you are contributing in the best of the ways. It is not that only a senior person can do it and we can't. If a housekeeper is there, if that duty is done properly, I think the work is done and you have fulfilled your duty. So therefore, there is a pledge that they give it. Though in my opinion, our pledge is when we pray in the morning, everybody does in our country. We don't leave our house without praying to our Almighty, whatever way you believe in. We do that ritual. So biggest pledge is that ritual that you do in the morning. That we will be doing this Almighty, so that you guide me on the right path and you show me the right kind of light so that I progress. That is the biggest pledge that we do. So therefore, after that, there is no other pledge which will have any meaning, because beyond Almighty there is nobody else. So we do that, but then Central Vigilance Commission, which is the apex body of our country, has directed that we give this pledge on 31st October, and this is under the observance of Vigilance Awareness Week, though we are aware, but then we still do this. This is the integrity pledge for citizens. I believe that corruption has been one of the major obstacles to economic, political, and social progress of our country. I believe that all stakeholders, such as government, citizens, and private sector, need to work together to eradicate corruption. I realize that every citizen should be vigilant and commit to highest standards of honesty and integrity at all times and support the fight against corruption. I therefore pledge to follow probity and rule of law in all walks of life, to neither take nor offer bribe, to perform all tasks in an honest and transparent manner, to act in public interest, to lead by example, exhibiting integrity in personal behavior, to report any incident of corruption to the appropriate agency. Now, if you look at this pledge, every aspect of our public life has been taken into consideration. I sincerely hope that you will all keep it in mind.